G'day. Some people don't know the difference between being rich and being wealthy. A wealthy person owns their own money. A rich person, the money owns them. Now, it's exactly the same in spiritual endeavours. People think it's about experiences, but accumulating experiences, and that's the same as spiritual growth. No, it's not the case at all. It's why people go running from spiritual thing to spiritual thing, and why we've got fads. 150 years ago, it was Hinduism, and then it became Buddhism. We've seen Zen, and it can be Confucianism, it can be Taoism. It's always the latest new thing, and if it's not that, it's drugs. Mescaline, peyote. These things were favoured 50 years ago. Mushrooms, DMT, ayahuasca. That's the fad of today. It's because people mistake experience for growth, and they're not the same. Yes, growth involves experience, but it's not the measure of it. And what do you find? People who are rich, where the money owns them, what a miserable way to go through life. At the bottom of this deep well of delusion. Well, you can do the same thing in spiritual practices as well. You can take on the attitude of some fake general with your nice uniform and chest full of medals and stand there expecting to be respected, all based on, well, I've had this experience, I've had that experience, I've done this, I've done that. It's not the same. What drives a rich person, in my observation anyway, is fear. They dread losing money. They cannot not get the best out of a deal. If they do lose their money, it breaks them. Meaning disappears out the window. Fear. Well, it's exactly the same psychology can be at work in spiritual endeavours. Underlying most of these traditions, when you really get to the bottom of it, it's all about fear of death. Want to know if there's a paradise after this life. Want to know if there's continuity of life. Want to know if, I could be more than I am. And that's all fear-based. And it leads to a deep well of delusion. And I think once people are that deluded, it's very unlikely they get out of it. I haven't seen many examples of people waking up to themselves. What you see instead are people seeking experience, mistaking that for something that's really important, accumulating those experiences, becoming very self-impressed by those experiences, and they apply all kinds of meanings to those experiences because that's the attitude they've got from the very beginning. The experiences mean something, and when they have those experiences, oh, well, what is that meaning? It must be important. Now, this is a miserable way to go through life, whether it's material success or spiritual success. It's got nothing to do with the experiences. Not really. Death. That's a certainty in life. We're going to die. We're all going to die. All right? Okay, so that tells you there's another truth, and that truth is the meaningful one. We're alive. The only reason we can die is because we're alive in the first place. And in just the same way, a rich person doesn't appreciate, and therefore they're not wealthy. Same thing in spiritual endeavors. The reality is you are alive. That's where the value is. See you later.